Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel's Finding Value. We normally talk about commodities because that's where the undervalued opportunities are. Today, I want to chart out Bitcoin. I see that it's tanking. It's at 33,828. The first thing you need to do is, well, be calm. You don't have to get all riled up and emotional. I do think this is going to pull back even more. I can show you through technical analysis why I think that. I don't know. I mean, this isn't 100%. We're just playing with statistics. Again, this isn't financial advice. You guys are going to have to do whatever you want. But I'll give you my opinion, and you guys can do what you want. So let's look at the charts. I can kind of show you what I'm seeing in the charts for Bitcoin, and we'll see how this plays out. So we'll jump in here. I'm going straight to the chart. So what I'm at is, this is for everything. It goes all the way back to all the data that we have. I'll zoom this out. This is all the data that we have on Bitcoin. And what I did is I just charted it out. Basically, you've got this little point here in 2014 where it peaked. I said, well, let's just start it at that top. And I charted it out. And this thing can go two ways. I mean, it really can. I put the bottom here. We got this wedge pattern. And this is where it becomes a little bit dangerous. So we got the wedge, it came up, it broke out, it came back to do a retest, and then it took off. And what we're seeing is this basically short-term top in here. I'll zoom in on that in the next slide. But we came on up and we lost the momentum. You can see that this leg is larger than this leg, which is larger than this leg here. And we can see the contraction in the legs. And those contraction in the legs means that the buyers are starting to equal the sellers. We saw this thing start to turn, which basically means that the momentum goes to zero. And when the momentum, think of like flipping a coin, all right? The high velocity is right off the flip of your finger. It has max velocity, and that velocity, if you were to chart it over time, slows down and goes to zero at the top. And then that velocity will increase from the top downward. Markets are just like physics. It's very close. Where the buyers equal the sellers at certain prices, you've got far more sellers at certain areas. And what you want to do is you're looking at the candlestick lengths or the size of each leg in these moves. And when they contract, it means that the buyers are starting to equal the sellers, and we're going to see a move in the opposite direction. It is that simple. So I'll shrink myself up here, move me over to the right, and I'll expand this here. Hopefully I'm not in your way. So here's the uptrend line. That exactly happened. We had the contraction in the legs. It contracted. And then we came back down. We had a bull trap right here set up. So it sucked in some bulls. Hey, it's going to go higher. Let's move this thing up. But it was a bull trap because the momentum was already coming down. It's hard to change that momentum. And it came back up for a bull trap and it sold off really hard, just like the opposite side did. Because you guys don't, whenever you have such large moves in such short periods of time, there's no resistance or support levels between here. So you can fly up here, but it's going to fly right back down because there's nothing holding support. So what Bitcoin's trying to do right now is it's trying to find a leg to stand on. It's trying to find support somewhere. It's trying to find, quote, the ceiling or the containment, the technical charting here of this resistance line or support line. It's trying to find a foot on this line here. It's trying to find its footing. Now, if it doesn't find its footing, it's going to go a long ways back down, and it's going to do it quite quickly because your next support line's down here at 20,000. So if it breaks through this little area in here, I think it's going to go pretty quickly to 20,000. Now, is it going to end at 20,000? I'm not necessarily sure, but I can tell you there's a lot more support at 10,000. A lot more support. So depending on the momentum, depending on how fast this thing comes down, we may blow all the way down to 20, do a quick little pause, and then all the way down to 10,000. Now, these things don't change very quickly. Usually you launch from a base or a pattern. This move launched from this basing pattern. And I'll show you what that looks like real quick. I'm just going to throw in this line here, and what it is, that right there, got it. So this line right here, this pattern created the base for this to jump. When you're coming down and it's trying to find its footing, it doesn't have, it's not just going to reverse like this overnight and go up. I don't think that's going to happen. What I think is going to happen is you never try catching a falling knife. You never try to catch something that has fast momentum coming down. You stay out of the market, you wait for it to bottom and create a base. So what I think may happen, and we'll see how it plays out, is I think this is going to continue lower to about 20,000, pause for a little bit. A lot of people will get excited, and then it could potentially fall back down to 10,000. Now, I'm not predicting 10,000. We have to see and monitor what the charts tell us. But I think it's very possible that this could go to 20,000 and then potentially 10,000 and then create a large basing pattern. So I think it's going to take time. I don't think this is just going to reverse and fling back up. That's my take. Now, you could look at this and say that it's going to come, hit this pattern right here and use that as a base to launch up higher. It potentially could. But with the momentum coming down and the next couple of charts I'll show you, we could potentially move lower on Bitcoin, and I'll show you. So this is the next Bitcoin chart. This is a 1-year chart, and I'll show you what happened and where everything went wrong. I charted this sometime when I saw the pattern develop, and I'll even throw in exactly what the pattern looked like. It's a wedge pattern right here. So we are coming up. Here's the trend lines, support lines. I've got one trend line here, contacting these 2 points, another trend line contacting 1, 2, coming on up. We blew on up here and we created a wedge pattern, which is a bearish signal, because what happens is you're moving upward in an ascending wedge and your buyers are starting to equal the sellers. And at some point, the sellers are going to overtake at a certain high price and drive this stock lower, or cryptocurrency. So it drove this thing lower right here. It was a top. It came down. I threw this line in and I said, look, you're going to get a bear trap here. It's probably going to come up like this, contact this line, and then come on back down. Or if I just said it was going to be a bear trap, it's going to come back up and come back down. It's a bear trap. They got you. They stuck you back in, and now it's selling off hard. It came to this next support line and kind of blew right through it. And we're moving sideways here, and this is the line you want to watch. So it's at about 30,000 or so. I'm going to zoom in again and do a 3-month chart. So here's the 3-month chart. This is what we're looking at as we zoom in. And you want to do your charting just like I did here. You want to take a big picture view, you zoom in, you zoom in, you zoom in, and you'll see different ways of looking at the chart through different time periods, because some charts may look bullish on a short term in a very long-term bearish outlook. So here we are looking at Bitcoin on a 3-month basis. We're coming and we're bouncing in this channel here. Watch to see if this channel doesn't hold. The channel is a little bit below. It's about right where we're at. If this channel blows to the downside, get ready. Get ready. Because if you blow this to the downside, the next support is in, well, I don't know if this is charting. It's probably at the lower 30s already. So we may already have blown out to the downside here. And if this line doesn't hold at 30,000, I think you could easily go to 20,000 in a snap. So that's what is going on. It does look like a shoulder developing, which means that the price projection, I'll do it right here. I'll just turn this one like this. Your price projection doesn't look too hot. Zero. But that's what I've got. You guys can do whatever you want. I just wanted to chart this out, get you guys some information. I know there's some guys on the channel that do like cryptocurrencies and do have Bitcoin, but I don't want to call it an end to Bitcoin, but it could be. I don't know. If this doesn't hold. This doesn't hold, look out to the downside. That's my opinion. If you guys like this content, give me a thumbs up. Thanks for listening. This is Finding Value.